everyone. Welcome to Morning Laziness. This is Nilima Kayers, and today we are bringing to you an interview session with Ms. Chrissy Bernal. Morning Laziness, an online magazine dedicated to women. It showcases various articles, personal life stories, and interview sessions on different matters concerning women. And today, our interviewee, Ms. Chrissy, happens to be the founder of Be a Better brand. So let us welcome our interviewee. Hello, Chrissy. Thank you for joining us
Hi.
today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Right, that's great. Well, so since you're on board with morning laziness, what is your morning mood?
My morning mood is pretty good. I wake up every morning and I set the intention for the day, and that helps me stay positive and keep my mindset where it needs to be.
Great. Well, so which is your favorite meta character from our very own NFT collection called Women in Metaverse?
So I love them all, but the one that was the sunset viewpoint, that one was speaking to me. And I think that it was the background that was really drawing me in, because boy, do I need a vacation.
Absolutely, we all do. Well, so how do you normally begin your morning routine?
So every morning, like many people, I'll check my email at some point. But I do get up, and the first thing I do is set my intention for the day. And that helps me stay focused, stay organized, and keep my mindset where it needs to be.
Great. Well, now what are some key strategies one should adopt for brand growth?
For brand truth?
For brand growth.
Oh, growth, I'm sorry. So the biggest thing that I have seen is clarity. Once a brand gets clear on their mission and sets an intention, you'll see the word intention come out of my mouth a lot. I'm really big on intention. But once a brand gets clear, that's when they're able to finally grow, because then they know where the ship is pointing, and everybody else can see the same, where the ship is pointing as well, and it can start to grow.
Absolutely. Well, what are the key services you render through your very own platform called Be a Better Brand?
So for me, I call myself a guide. So I do both coaching and consulting, and then I have a publicity arm of my company. And so what I do is I help mostly women. I do work with some men, but mostly women. I help them gain clarity in their brands, set intention, again, the word intention, and to make sure that they are very, very clear on what that next step is, why they're taking that next step, and just really being intentional about the growth.
Great. So are you planning to launch something interesting this year through Be a Better Brand?
So this year, I'm not planning on launching anything, but that's because I'm helping several of my clients launch their things. So, I want to be able to focus on their launches and not be distracted by something I'm launching.
Oh, that sounds great. I like your response. Well, now, what are some of the challenges an entrepreneur normally faces in brand building?
And like I mentioned earlier, clarity. I think that clarity makes people feel stuck, or not having clarity makes people feel stuck. And they feel like they're spinning their wheels, and they're feeling like they're working hard, but not getting anything accomplished. And so once you sit down, kind of slow down a little bit, get everything set in the foundation so that you have clarity on your mission, clarity on your vision, what your offer is. A lot of times people don't 100% know what their offer is, and that's a big hurdle, and it costs people money and keeps them from building their brand.
Right. Well, what are the 7 pillars needed to develop a strong brand?
So there are a few things that every brand needs to have. I call them more foundation pieces, but of course you need your logo. That's, what the visual representation, and a logo can hurt you if it's done poorly. So, don't just throw something out there, be intentional with it. Again, the word intention. Then you also need to define the other aspects of your brand. And the way that I like clients to think about it is put together something so that you can hand it off to other parts of your team, and everyone's going to be able to stay on brand. So have your typography, which is your fonts, have your color palettes, have the voice situated so that everyone knows, is this a fun brand? Is this a serious brand? Do we use conversational language? Do we use more collegiate language? So things like that are what you need to define so that your brand can stay consistent and not confuse your audience. Because if you confuse them about who you are, what you do, and how to work with you, you'll never grow your brand. And one of the other things that I like people to do is get their messaging together, because if you've got a nice, solid kind of recipe for your messages, then you can hand it off, and a social media manager can do things for you. A web designer can do things for you. Anyone can do something for you and be able to stay on brand. So that's why I like to use the story brand framework for communication, and it will help you put together that solid messaging kind of recipe so that you can hand that off.
Right. Well, now where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as the founder of Be a Better Brand?
I would love to just continue growing a team and just to continue mentoring younger women, helping them embrace their worth and be confident in going after the success they desire.
Right. Earlier, you mentioned that you were indeed fascinated by the NFT world and the NFT collections. So, do you plan to explore the same someday in future?
Oh, absolutely. And everyone in marketing needs to pay attention to NFTs because they're not going away. So if you're not already learning about them, you're going to be behind. So yes, NFTs are something going to be very important in the branding world. And I think they're going to be pretty fun, actually.
Right. Now, lastly, what do you think this world needs the most?
You know what? I think this world needs the most is what the world needs the most is for us to remember that we're all humans. No matter if it's, somebody that you're selling to at a big corporation or somebody who's a small business, we're all humans. And I like to follow Brian Kramer's lead with the H2H movement, that there's no B2B, there's no B2C, it's only H2H, because we're all humans.
Right. So, on that note, we come to the end of this interview session. Thank you so much, Ms. Chrissy, for joining us today. We had a great time learning more about Be a Better Brand and your other services. So, thank you once again, and thank you, audience. Hope you had a great time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.